I highly recommend that anybody listening to this does not buy their supplements on Amazon. Just full stop. Because the problem is that you don't know what you're getting. You may be thinking you're getting something from a reputable company, but there was something that I learned about a couple of years ago, a company called Metagenics, which has been around forever. They were on Amazon and people were getting these rancid products from Metagenics in the mail from Amazon, finding out they were not Metagenics at all. It was all counterfeit. And so this is really, really challenging, right? So whenever I'm working with my clients, I do not ever recommend buying supplements through Amazon as much as possible. Buying directly from the supplement manufacturers that you trust are the ways to do it. As a practitioner, I use a couple different platforms. The one I use mostly is called FullScript, which is where I know the guys that run that company for many years. I know what they're doing. I know the quality that they're looking at when they're bringing supplements on their platform specifically. So in my life, what I use a lot of pure encapsulations, actually, even though they were bought by Nestle. I don't hold that against them too much. Designs for Health, I use a lot of. I use some Now brand of things, which is available over the counter. It's a very good brand. Some Jarrow products as well that are pretty good. My magnesium, I think, is pure encapsulations. The cordycepin, the tromiums from my company Transcriptions, which I implicitly care about and trust because I'm involved in the making of those products. And the challenge with supplement companies in general, as you know, Jesse, is it's a self-regulation process. Like you don't have to do anything. I can go into my basement tomorrow and pack something in a supplement and go online and sell it. And so it's a really big deal that you're looking at quality when you're looking at supplements. And so, of course, with my family, me personally, with my clients, I really care about all those things. And then I think for the collagen right now, I've been using Vital Proteins or Vital, I think it's called Vital Proteins. And I like their company. They've been around a while. They're good. They're well tested, but I change it around sometimes, but that's the one I've been using mostly now.
All right, that's great. A couple things I want to highlight when it comes to quality. The
Yeah.
Amazon piece, I've heard of that before. And I think for a period of time, I stayed away from ordering. But lately, I've been looking for brands when I order on there that say they're shipping from Amazon. Do you
Right.
know if that's enough? I had assumed if it's coming from Amazon's warehouse, they've done the quality check.
No,
No? Okay.
no.
So that's going to change things for me because I have been ordering those.
I worry. If you want to buy clothes, if you want to buy radio, like whatever, people don't buy radios, whatever you buy, like electronic wise anymore, that's better, I think, overall. And I think that there's more recourse if you buy a laptop on Amazon, it doesn't work. There's ways you can get a new one, for example. You don't know what you're getting on the supplement side. I just, like, for example, we'll talk about methylene blue later when my morning routine, but that's a big one where like I've just seen a huge amount of crappy stuff online and I just go, please don't buy this stuff on Amazon. You just don't know what you're getting. So if I was going to buy something on Amazon, it would be being fulfilled by the company that is on Amazon selling it. So if it's Designs for Health, for example, which is another brand that I use a lot, fulfilled by Designs for Health, not in an Amazon warehouse as much as possible. The temperature regulation in these warehouses all over the place too, like the heat stability of your supplements might change depending on the temperatures. If it's in a Vegas warehouse versus it's in a Florida warehouse, or it's in the Philippine warehouse where it's really humid. I don't know, right? So I tend to be very emphatic about this with the people that I work with and myself personally.
All right, the other piece I wanted to highlight is pure encapsulations. And
Yeah.
you mentioned the BioOver. Since then, I've totally been avoiding that brand. I used to use them all the time.
Yep.
Good to hear that you still feel confident in that product. I'll have to do a bit more research and potentially dive back in there.
It's one of those things, like a lot of us in the health and wellness space, once a company gets bought by one of these conglomerates, you can have either one of two reactions, like, I'm never using that product again. It's owned by Nestle. It's going to be ridiculous. Or the other option is like, wow, Nestle's buying this product. Now they have a natural, more optimized product that they're using. At least they're going to distribute it to more places. So people might actually have the opportunity of not having some shitty Flintstone vitamin from Costco. Instead, they can buy something with pure encapsulations. Like, that's fantastic. And I go back and forth on this too. It depends on the product, depends on the company, and you have to be monitoring these things over time, because definitely quality can go down if these companies aren't careful. But I've actually spoken to the people up here, and everything is still very separate there from Nestle. So I feel much more comfortable. For example, other companies maybe not so much. But in general, I like to do my research if these buyouts do happen, and I watch things over time. Yeah.
Good to know about that company.
Yeah.
And there's different layers to this as well, where if you're buying a product and you mentioned methylene blue, if the company isn't producing a quality product, You could have other contaminants in there.
Exactly.
You could have a product you expect to work a certain way and you don't feel the benefits. Again, methylene blue, when I take your product, I feel it right away. Maybe you get turned on to methylene blue, you give it a try, you get this crappy brand on Amazon, you don't feel it and you put it away for, the rest of your life and you don't give it another shot. So there's different aspects, but quality does matter, like it does with everything, saunas and food and everything we're going to get into.
Yeah. So you mentioned purity and potency. Liquids, especially with methylene blue, are never as potent as they say on the label. We've done the testing. So if it says you're getting a milligram per dropper or something, number one, a dropper is very, very subjective overall. Or like there's one company that says one drop is 0.5 milligrams. It just doesn't exist that way. We've noticed this on testing. And then you talk about the purity, which is contamination. And this is across the board, but especially in methylene blue, lead, cadmium, mercury, arsenic, these are contaminants that you can find. And so, yes, I'm very, very clear that when you're purchasing supplements, try to do it through a reputable company, try to do it through a reputable site, or if you're going on Amazon, if it's going to be on Amazon, having it fulfilled by the company that is on Amazon selling you the product.
There was also some research a number of years back showing that when they did tests on different supplements, they weren't even finding the active ingredient or what was supposed to be in it. So that's another whole layer on top of this.
Yeah. This is a big thing with things, the erectile dysfunction. Like they found that they actually had real Viagra, Cialis in it, the PDE5 inhibitors, that it was supposed to be a natural performance enhancer, but it had all these things in it. And so you can find this across the board in all different types of supplements out there. My least favorite is the proprietary blends in general. Because if you find a supplement that says I have a proprietary blend of 17 different herbs, you have no idea how much of each of those herbs is in there. Now, this is not a bad thing across the board. There are some companies that have been around a long time, like Gaia, for example. They have better quality control, I think. But in general, I try not to give people things that have proprietary blends because you just don't know of the 10 things that are in that blend, what is in that blend exactly at all. And so that's another kind of pet peeve of mine in the supplement side of things.
If you enjoyed that clip, you're going to want to head over here and catch a full episode. I'll see you over there.
The challenge is that if you have mitochondrial dysfunction, you have issues with fertility, you have brain fog, concentration issues, you have cardiac issues, liver detox issues, exercise-induced fatigue, all these things. And so working on mitochondrial function is so, so important. Insulin resistance